Hi there, my name is Michelle Holden, Lead Communications and Marketing at HEROC. I'm joined today by Trevor Hall, HEROC's VP of Healthcare Safety and Risk Management, and Wendy Hooper, our Senior Healthcare Risk Management Specialist. HEROC recently launched 2 new risk management residency program streams, one for midwives and one for leaders in the obstetrical and perinatal space. Both are open for application now, so we wanted to take a few moments to talk about RMRP at HEROC, how it's developed, and what's to come. So when it comes to all things RMRP, Wendy and Trevor know it all. So let's jump in. Trevor, maybe you want to kick us off. So for those who don't know, what is the Risk Management Residency Program?
Yeah, thanks so much, Michelle, and thanks, Wendy, for being here too. Thanks also to our colleagues of Enid and Jody for putting this great program together. We're so excited to talk about the Risk Management Residency Program, which is now in its 5th year. It started in 2021. And really what I like to think about the program is around collaboration and connection and sharing tactical risk advice that we may not always receive from a text or have fit in a day-to-day piece. Really, it's about a 10-month program really designed to be collaborative and where we can share and learn together. The most important piece is that we create that knowledge or that community of experts. And another really great benefit is we are you, you are us. And this program is meant to be offered and is offered at zero cost to our subscribers.
That's true. That's really good points. And I know the RMRP turns 5 this year. So you shared a little bit around the impetus for bringing it to life. Do you have anything else to add about this great anniversary?
Yeah, how cool. So this anniversary means a lot to us. I think that we're going to have some ice cream cake and other things sweet. 147 graduates within the program since inception. It's taken on a life of its own, where really it's spread into other additional specialty streams, including midwifery as well as obstetrical and perinatal leadership. What I wanted to say really is by having our shared experiences, we're stronger together. I always think about it as a backpack, or I may have some experiences. Wendy has some other experiences, but together we don't always share those experiences. Through these programs of purposely coming together, we're able to each learn and share experiences together, stay connected, and that helps us when we're on the front lines. The other impetus around this program really is our healthcare human resources crisis, where those who have been in the field having these backpack of experiences are leaving, and making sure that our future caregivers tomorrow have those skills. We were recently at a conference, and we had the question of, please raise your hand if you've been in the room for been in risk for over 20 years. A few hands go up. 10 years, a few more hands go up. Please raise your hand if you've been in the field for less than 5 years. Out of 100 people, 80 hands go up. And I think this really is just a really visual depiction of why we need connection and collaboration, and specifically sharing risk experiences. Wendy, I think you had some great thoughts of what the impetus and what this program means to you.
No, most definitely. When I was a risk manager first starting out in the field, I was very fortunate to have had a person in the department who had been in risk for quite some time. And that person took it upon herself to coach and mentor me and to show me and teach me what risk management was all about, teach me the tips and the tricks and the tools, much like Trevor was mentioning the knapsack. I always think of it as my toolbox, and really helped to grow my interest in risk. When I look around Canada at this point in time through the risk management field, as Trevor mentioned, there's very, very few risk managers with less than 5, very few risk managers with greater than 20 years, such as myself. Other people that have less than 5. The majority with the less than 5, they're not as fortunate to have a senior person on their team to actually show them the ropes. So the whole impetus for the program was to not only provide knowledge and to share experiences and learnings, but was to help the newer risk managers in our healthcare system build their confidence and their competence, but then also to have an opportunity to come back for future cohorts as coaches and mentors for the new students, to then consolidate their learnings and to be able to share back with the healthcare system, and to continue to grow that network of peers and colleagues. It has been a very successful format of sharing, seeing one, doing one, teaching one. And as Trevor has always been fond of saying, it is a motto of the program, never be uncertain alone. We are truly building a network of risk managers who are interconnected and still stay in touch with each other each year. So it's really quite successful that way.
Yeah, that's true. And I do love the mentorship aspect. I think that's what makes it unique. So I'm really glad you brought that up. Earlier this year, we launched a pilot RMRP specifically for midwives. I mentioned that a little bit earlier, but in 2026, the midwifery program will be returning with a second RMRP cohort launching for obstetrical and perinatal leadership, which is very, very cool to see it grow. So can you tell us about the new programs and who should apply?
So the new programs are truly meant for healthcare professionals and professionals in general who are supporting and actually working in the obstetrical field, whether as an individual practitioner for midwives or midwives in the hospital, but as well the frontline clinicians in the obstetrical programs throughout healthcare. So these would be the managers, the directors, the professional practice leads, things along that line, who they don't have a risk title. They may not have risk as an accountability in their job description, but they are at the front line. They are the ones that can actually influence and mitigate adverse events from occurring, as well as showing others within their program patient safety initiatives to talk about, documentation, communication, teamwork, and leadership. So it's really about enabling people at the front line to do the best job possible that they can.
Yeah, I would just add, like Wendy mentioned, risk is a team sport, right? And it's that goes back to again to that concept of never be uncertain alone. Having that risk management fundamentals, including documentation, consent, informed choice or decline, critical incident investigation. How do you disclose harm? How are you feeling yourself? How do you do that in a safe space? Health, equity, and safety. And really, the whole piece of this again goes back to risk as a team sport. That interprofessional collaboration. You can't get any better than that. And as Wendy mentioned, how you are being matched with mentors who have great experience in this, as well as making sure that you know what people drink in their tea, coffee, or whatever before that, and being able to reach out. This just is absolutely phenomenal.
That's great. And before I let you both go back to your busy days, I wanted to ask you how it feels just generally to see the program grow, given how close you've been to it.
It was my 5-year plan when the team first started developing risk management residency program, coming fresh out of the COVID pandemic and all the trials and tribulations, growing it with the team and enabling others within HEROC to not only participate, but to develop content and to continue to see the growth. But it's when I actually am visiting hospitals in the capacity of HEROC, the number of people that come up to me to say, I was a student, or I will be a student. I want to thank you so much for this. It's the gratification that you get from not only developing a tool that has been so widely received as being a phenomenal program for risk managers, but the actual people that come up and give me a hug at a conference out of nowhere, simply because they were so happy to be a student. To me, that's personal satisfaction, but it's a reflection of HEROC as a whole and how we actually strive to contribute on a daily basis back to the healthcare system.
It's true. I have seen people give you a hug after that. Trevor, any final comments?
Everyone loves to hug Wendy. I think a huge thank you again to both of you and the teams, all the teams at HEROC contribute to this program, taking that tactical knowledge, putting it into digestible applied pieces. Again, if you take away anything, it's really that point of never being uncertain alone. We are stronger together, and it is absolutely an honor and a privilege to see this program take off, as well as spread, scale, and repeating it. So for example, with the midwifery program stream, we're looking at the obstetrical and perinatal stream now. And again, not to forget, we also have our board residency program, which is aimed at risk for governors. And again, it's just a privilege to be able to provide this opportunity and to be a part of it across the system. So again, back to you, Michelle, but thank you, Wendy. Thank you to our teams. Thank you, Enid and Jody and the full HEROC family.
Thank you both, and thank you to the team who put it all together. So we were here to chat about RMRP at HEROC. We hope you learned a little bit something. If you have any questions, please email us at riskresidency@heroc.com, and don't hesitate. The team is always here for you. Thank you.